And, that's why it's really important, in my opinion, to hit the off switch with a lot of things that are being fed to you, because most of it is negative and it's just designed to keep you where you are, not to empower you.
That's good. That's good. So let's pretend, and maybe I am to some degree, let's pretend I'm ignorant to this idea. I have been fighting to just protect what I have. I'm actually thinking of somebody I know right now that this is their story. Like, I don't care about having insane amounts of money, but I fear losing what I have right now. What are some, maybe not simple, but what are some of the first steps that you encourage people to take to reframe their mindset around this idea of scarcity and abundance so they can start to be good stewards of the things that God has given them?
Invest in yourself before you ever invest in an asset, first and foremost. Invest in yourself before you invest in an asset, and protect your income and your assets in the best way possible. Because our philosophy of finance is we're going to play really great defense. Now, what defense is protection, okay? When you're chasing rates of return, those are offensive positions. And there's nothing wrong with offense. There's nothing wrong with putting points on the board or anything like that. But when you play really great defense, it gives your offense better opportunities. A story that I use often is in Tom Brady's very first Super Bowl run. And this doesn't negate his greatness or his legacy or anything like that. But in his very first Super Bowl run, the last 3 games of the season, the conference, the division, and the Super Bowl, last 3 games of the season, do you know how many touchdowns he threw in those 3 games?
No, but now I want to say 0 because
He threw 1.
Wow.
And that was because he had an incredible defense that always put them in great positions. And so they didn't have to depend so much on him. They were very dependent on their run game because they were always in great positions. And they also had a great kicking game too. So we want to reduce the probability of failure to as close to 0 as possible. That's the bottom line. So the way we operate in our business is we focus on income and asset protection and cash flow optimization. So we just want to look at everything that you're already doing and show you how we would maximize the efficiency of it through the concepts that we teach.
So good. That's so good. I think this is so helpful because in my own experience, I grew up, my formative years of life, my dad wasn't very present. My mom was just doing everything she could to just put food on the table. So, she was really good about making a dollar go real far, but had no mindset around money. And so I had no guidance, which that coupled with my desire to just fit in and be, like everybody else or better than everybody else, I just spent money faster than it was coming in. That was a big part of what blew our life up. But I think that even today, there's so much talk, normative talk around wealth and lots of income and real estate and investing. And I think most of the world is nodding their head in agreement, but ignorant agreement. And so I think going back to the basic principles is so important. Like even hearing, just you reinforcing. I didn't buy life insurance for myself until about 5 years ago, and or disability. And it was only because I started working with a client that was in the space who ended up telling me a story about the fact that when his dad passed away tragically from cancer, it was his disability policy that funded his family's life until his mom could get back on her feet on her own. And that's why he went into the business to do what he did. And I was like, son of a bitch, like, what am I doing to my family? I had always in my mind, and this was very irresponsible. It was like, God forbid something happens to me, particularly my dad now who's been in my life and we're so close, like he would take care of my family. And I'm like, that is so irresponsible. That is so stupid. But I had to ingrain these simple practices in, and I think more people need to hear that. And men especially, because we are called to be the leader in our home. We are called to be the provider. We are called to be the protector. And you can go out and make all kinds of money in the present. But if you're not doing anything to protect that money and protect your family, God forbid something happens to you, you become the worst provider and protector known to man.
There's 2 questions that we ask. I'll ask you and anybody who's listening. First question is, Let's say you get hurt and you cannot go and produce an income tomorrow. How much of your income and for how long? So what percentage of your income and for how long would you want that to continue on to you and your family? Most people are going to say as much of it for as long as possible. Second question. Okay, let's pretend something happens to you and you're gone. You've graduated. You're off this world. How much of your income and for how long do you want to continue on to your family, to the people you love and care about? It's usually the same answer, as much of it for as long as possible. Well, life insurance is just a perpetuation of your income to the people that you love and care about.
Yeah. That's so wise, man. That's why, again, I think it may sound so elementary to some people listening, but I just don't think we can ever get over the elementary, because I think it's these foundational, and I don't even want to say elementary, it's these foundational principles that are a necessity for us to be the men that God has created us to be.